1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys.
Oh, it's the Hake Report.
Yes.
The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So guys, I'm James Hake. This is the Hake Report. It is Wednesday, not September. It's October 16th, 2019. Last night was the Democrat debate, and the country has been going in the wrong direction for a long time. And I think that's why Trump finally broke down and decided to run for office, because he's been complaining about the way that it's been going. And a lot of you guys have been complaining, and Jesse's been talking about it for 30 years, almost. And it's crazy. But people are more and more and more and more brainwashed. You heard Jesse talking about the gay, so-called gay conservative. He's not a conservative. Bragging about how non-radical he is, even though he's pushing a bunch of radical stuff. Just dressing up like a conservative and pretending to be a conservative and pushing that nonsense. Breaking news, UAW, United Auto Workers Union. You know that filthy union. You know, some of it's good, right? Some of the workers are really good people. Some of them call into the Jesse show. But supposedly they made a deal with GM, you know, that dirty company. Evil people fighting evil people in America. But GM is General Motors, which runs, makes cars. I think they were bailed out. Were they bailed out in the 2007-8 so-called financial crisis? I think they were bailed out. I could be wrong. I think they were, though. But, Joel's making a lot of noise over there. But, according to all the headlines, push notifications on my phone, United Auto Workers Union reached a tentative 4-year deal that could end their strike. They've been striking since September. So it's been like weeks, multiple weeks. They've been striking so long, I forgot they were striking. And it's so bad that you can't even be a scab if you want to be. A scab is a word that I learned from that Disney propaganda movie Newsies that was promoting the paper boys striking against Pulitzer and Hearst, a bunch of newspaper organizations, because the paper boys were underpaid or something like that. So they unionized and striked, and so one of them started to work again, and he was called a scab. So there was a caller who didn't agree with the strike and the begging and the unions and stuff. Unions tend to support Democrats. Joe Biden kisses up to the unions and pretends to be a union guy. Trump is a real friend of workers in general, working people in general, whether you're union or not. So a lot of union normal people support Trump. That's good. But supposedly, a caller to my show from the Detroit area or something, I forget where, is... Oh, no, I did not.
Did it pass it back to you?
No.
You didn't send it back?
Well, check the thing.
The pass it to you?
Yeah, check it.
The pass it?
Uh-huh. Sorry, just having a little side conversation with a friend.
She needed before 10.
Oh, yeah. Check it. And I can handle it if you bring it to me. Yeah. So, sorry about that, guys. I'm just having a little side conversation. It's as if I'm in my living room and my child is coming in trying to play. But I don't have a child. And that is I'm a symptom of a major problem in America, of the wrong direction that we've been going. We've been getting into unions for decades. Union jobs are very cushy. They pay very well. And yeah, if you get it, take advantage, right? But unfortunately, it's a very corrupting influence in the country. And same thing with all these other things that are happening, resulting in whites not making babies and all that stuff. pushing education, pushing pornography, pushing white beta maleness, and actually across the board beta maleness, and all that stuff. So we'll see. Hopefully the strike ends and they'll make a deal and they'll become productive people again, rather than feeding rather than the union feeding back the union members the money that they already been paying in for the sake of the strike fund. And so, like I was starting to say, the scabs can't even work for GM because GM actually closed its plant down. GM should continue to work, but I guess they can't. I don't know. GM should continue to be open and just hire like day laborers or something. I don't know. I'm speaking off the cuff, but I'm going to get to your calls. But real quick, I just want to make a quick point about these dirty Democrat women who are in office. I heard that Cortez, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, supports Bernie Sanders for president. The guy who had a heart attack. He's 78, and he's a filthy communist sympathizer. You know, they call people Nazis who aren't even close to being Nazis, and Nazi sympathizers who aren't even, I don't know, it doesn't even matter, right? The communists are worse than the Nazis. And she supports him, and she is one herself. So Cortez and Bernie Sanders, they're both young Turks type of liberals. And when I say young Turks, I mean anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-white, all that stuff. They're so-called justice Democrats. I don't know if Bernie is a so-called justice Democrat, but the Young Turks guys got together with other bunch of liberals and created this PAC, basically Political Action Committee type thing. I don't know if it's officially a political action committee. They call themselves Justice Democrats because they won't take money from, what is it, corporate interests or something dumb, as if the corporate interests are the only corrupting influence. They're corrupt themselves, these so-called Justice Democrats. They're socialists. And they're anti-white, they're anti-American, they're anti-Christian. You shouldn't support them. Only moron, it's Justice Democrat, by the way, is an oxymoron because you can't be a Democrat and be for justice. Because by definition, the Democrats are against justice. They're against white people. They pretend to be for the blacks, but they're against them. They pretend to be for the Hispanics, but they're against them. They're for the worst in people, the worst in the Jews and everybody. So only morons support the Democrats in any capacity. So I heard the squad, at least 3 of the 4, the squad being the stupid 4 so-called Democrat progressive women of color, are endorsing Bernie. Cortez, Ilhan Omar, I think, and what's the third one? Tlaib? I think it's Tlaib. And then the 4th one is Ayanna Pressley, and she's kind of removed from them. She's kind of the outcast. She's black. She's the only one who's like really American. out of the 3, I think she's American, like black American. I could be wrong. But the others, one is an anchor baby from Detroit. That's Tlaib. And I have pictures of them. And I have pictures of I have a meme that we created. There's Tlaib with the brainwashed people behind her, Rashida. And then I have pictures of a bunch of other Democrat female leadership with little things pointing to them, little aspects, interesting aspects of their lives about them. For example, AOC, Cortez. She lives with her partner, shamelessly. And then Ayanna Pressley, married to a single father, shamelessly. Not a good idea. The Muslim with a hijab, Ilhan Omar. Why would we have that in office? Then we have the single mother of a lesbian daughter who's from New Mexico or somewhere, or Nevada. She's like an older Indian woman. American Indian, that is. And then we have another one, a Mexican woman from El Paso area who officiated a gay wedding, I think. I think she's the El Paso type woman. She officiated a so-called gay wedding, same-sex wedding for her supporters. And then we have a full-on lesbian woman, and I think that she was an MMA type fighter before she became a congressman, a female congressman. This is a Vanity Fair photo from Martin Scholler. But for some reason, they left out the Talib from this photograph. 4 of the 6, where the H are they? What are you saying? Joel's asking me a question that I don't understand.
Like you don't see them in the news as much as Ilhan and
right.
AOC.
Yeah. Some of them are louder mouths than others. And some of them are prettier than others, too. I think that's why you see more of Cortez, pretty on the outside, right? Very temporarily, right? Cortez and Omar, you see more of them because they're prettier. And the other ones are ugly.
Well, they could stay in the background. We don't need them in the front.
Yeah. So anyways, let's see. Did I miss anything else? Oh, so Talib and Cortez are the 3rd and 4th so-called democratic socialists in Congress, I guess. And I think the first one was, I don't know. I think that Bernie Sanders is a democratic socialist, meaning a communist, right? That's all they are. We should just call them communists. They call us Nazis. Let's call them communists. It's closer to what they are. So anyways, Talib is not included in that pic. She's a divorced anchor baby who has children. She's a nasty, cussing single mother. She's the one who told her son, her young son, that we're going to impeach the MFR on election night or something. I don't know. Maybe, when she was elected. So, nasty people. And I'm going to tell you about the Hispanics becoming the largest voting minority. And Italians, some Italian Democrat saying the N-word, very popular guy too. Well known anyway. But real quick, let me get to some callers. Let's see. Sal out of Denver, Colorado. Sal, how are you?
All right, James, how are you?
Doing fine. Nice to hear from you.
You know, I think that something that could be discussed a little more is this new national judgment. I thought it was just for California, but I've heard that apparently it's a national judgment that says you go up to 40 years after a supposed sexual incident happened and sue somebody. This is going to be abused, and it's just going to be horrible. And then, how can any self-respecting government let this happen?
So you're saying that, according to you, that the national judge, like a federal judge, decided that the statute of limitations for suing somebody for so-called rape or sexual assault or whatever is 4 years now?
40, sir.
40? Whoa,
Yes.
40.
Yep.
4 decades.
So if you don't like somebody that
Oh my gosh,
your
that's crazy.
teacher's in school and you want to go after
Give me
them,
the source. Do you know where you saw that? So that other people can look it up?
I've seen it where I heard that it was a national law. I thought it was just California.
But where did you see it?
Fox News this morning on Fox News Radio.
All right,
I don't
guys,
know.
look that up for me. All right. Crazy.
It's unbelievable because that means that people that just don't like people and have the money or fooled lawyers into suing someone are just going to sue people and run away with money. And I guess public schools are worried that they're going to sue them out of existence, which they might. But this is the dumbest, stupid thing ever. I don't know why everybody thinks that they should be able to wait, decades before they do something.
I know.
You need to do something immediately if there's a problem.
Right. Okay, so, I'm not finding it, but I'll tell you, I think that you may be misunderstanding it, because let me just read.
I hope I am.
Let me read, I mean, it is still horrible. It's still stupid. So Sacramento Bee reports, the headline is New California Law, California specifically, gives so-called victims.
Well, then maybe I misunderstood.
New California law gives so-called victims of childhood sexual assault more time to file lawsuits. Third paragraph down, it says, currently survivors, right, victims, must file a lawsuit either by age 26 or if already an adult within 3 years of having realized their psychological injury or illness was caused by his childhood abuse, whichever comes later. Assembly Bill 218 now increases the statute of limitations to age 40 and gives adult survivors who have recently discovered their abuse 5 years to sue. So the statute of limitations is going to be increased from 3 to 5 and from 26, age 26 to age 40.
That's when the time starts. Amazing.
Yeah, it's encouraging people to feel like victims, and that's what we gotta avoid. It's what we gotta avoid. It's what that's why I'm opposed to MGTOW in general, even though they're telling the truth about what's going on. But MGTOW and incels, when you identify as those things, you embrace victimhood when you can overcome the world. So that's why I say that incels are not wrong about what their criticisms are.
On whether they've had sex with someone or not.
Huh?
You know, it doesn't really matter. I know, imagine when you're a teenager, you feel like you should have sex with someone, but oh wow, just relax, try to enjoy your life. Maybe it isn't all about sex, but if you guys don't make that decision, then you can't do better.
Yeah.
You done with this?
Yeah.
Well, it's been great talking to you, James.
Yeah, you as well, Sal.
Thanks for straightening that out for me. I'm sorry that you guys have to deal with that law in California.
I know. I appreciate the tip on that.
Lots of those.
I don't think I need that.
Well, cool. It's been nice talking to you. I'm enjoying the show. Thanks.
All right. Appreciate it, Sal. Take care. I'm such a bad host that he had to hang up on me. Hold on one moment, guys. I want to tell you guys. No, let me get to Kathleen. Let me talk to Kathleen while I'm conducting an errand. Out of Texas. First time caller, Kathleen, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, nice to hear from you.
Nice to hear from you. I like the show a lot, and I love Jesse Lee Peterson, and I'm very appreciative of the truth y'all put out there.
Yeah, cool.
I was just going to mention, I'm a couple days late, but I couldn't get through about Columbus Day.
Yeah, did you celebrate?
Yeah, and basically a lot of people don't realize is that the Native Americans, the tribes across the state, they didn't get along with each other. In fact, they killed each other, including the women and the children, before Columbus ever set foot.
Wow. Yeah, that is true. There were some peaceful ones, and there were some very warlike ones. They didn't get along, and they were not a country. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yep.
They would call each other dogs and snakes and so forth, but they didn't get along.
Yeah.
They already had disease there, and then when the Pilgrims came, they brought disease as well, but the weather and Mother Nature wiped out a bunch of people on both sides.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to mention how the Native Americans were not a peaceful tribe across the.
Yeah, it was in the
their own thing.
It was in the Declaration of Independence. They were complaining that the king was kind of stirring up the Indian savages, and they called them Indian savages that had no regard for women, children, the sick, the old. They would kill them all. And so there was major issues going on between.
They were ruthless, just as much as any other evil person that was out to get power, or greed, or whatever they were going for. Yeah,
that's so true, Kathleen. But they want to pretend like these people were peaceful to themselves and getting along with each other.
Everything was perfect, and then the white man came and destroyed it.
Yeah,
it's not true.
Nope, it's just the way the ball bounces.
On top of that, every race of every generation has been persecuted or oppressed.
Yeah.
You do your research and look up history.
They're using it to try to oppress white people. And it's working because the white people are letting it happen. And white people are surrendering their countries around the world, to be honest. They did it in South Africa. There's a lot of whites who surrendered in South Africa. There's some who are fighting back. Some are doing it right. Some are maybe going too far. In all of these countries.
Yes.
And so it's good versus evil. Man, I appreciate that, Kathleen.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all putting the truth out there.
Nice. All right, take care.
You'll have a great day.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let me quickly, speaking of whites losing their country, Hispanics are becoming the largest voting minority until whites become the largest voting minority, because whites are still a majority, thank God. But it looks like they're going to become that way. It's definitely the direction that it's going. So Drudge reports 32 million Hispanics are ready to vote, the largest minority in 2020. So Washington Examiner reports, and I have a graph showing the increase of the Hispanic population from 1970 at 9.6 million to 2018 at 59.9 million. Crazy. So it sextupled. That's the word for increase by 6 times, I think, according to Pew Research Center. But the percentage of Hispanics that are eligible to vote is about half that. It's not 60 million. It's like 32 million eligible to vote. And that's because we have this anchor baby thing. 14th Amendment allows people who were born here. Actually, it's not the 14th Amendment. It's just an abuse, a purposeful mischaracterization of the 14th Amendment, allowing people to be born here, and then we take care of them like they're our own. We let them vote and everything. Speaking of cuck, that's where the word cuck came from, where this bird, I think it's called the cockatoo, or I don't know. But anyway, this bird would lay its eggs, female bird, would lay her eggs into somebody else's nest. And that somebody else, a different bird, would raise that cockatoo's babies. So that bird got cucked because he had to raise the other bird's babies. Shameful. And that's what America's doing. With all of these anchor babies, including Rashida Tlaib and Ted Cruz. Well, Ted Cruz is only halfway, right? Because I think his mother was American and his father was not. I could be wrong. Obama is half an anchor baby. I don't think that he should be considered a real American. If he was born in this country to an American mother who hates America and hates white people, who married a Kenyan, I don't know if that should count as American. What do you think? And then she had a stepfather for Obama who was a little bit better. He was more of a capitalist, but he was still like a Muslim, and he was still a Indonesian or something, his stepdad. At least that's what the story is. And in his book, Obama's book, and it's in 2016, Obama's America, in Dinesh D'Souza's movie, where she tells her husband, his stepdad, who says, "I'm bringing you around your people," meaning white Americans. And she's all, "These are not my people." So she's a nasty woman. It's no wonder that Obama's so nasty and fake, anti-white. So anyways, let's see. The percentage of Hispanics eligible to vote in the 2020 presidential election has surged nearly 20% since 2016. That's because the Hispanics are mostly a young generation, because they're having babies like crazy. They're coming in, unaccompanied alien children and minors. DACA, we let the people that came here before age 16, if they arrived here before age 16 between 2009, 2012, I don't know, some big span, right? We allow them to stay here. Thanks, Obama. It was an unconstitutional executive order, supposedly, but now a judge won't let Trump get rid of it because he tried to get rid of it. And some liberal judge said, no, you can't do that. Ridiculous. So that's why it's surged by 20%. So Hillary Clinton took 66% of the Latino vote in 2016. Over 30 million, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, Hispanics will be the largest voting minority for the first time. It'll be a record 32 million. It's an increase from 27.3 million. So that's almost 5 million new liberal Hispanic voters. Mostly liberal, right? Not all. The 2020 election will mark the first time that Hispanics will be the largest racial and ethnic minority group in the electorate, accounting for just over 13% of eligible voters, said Pew's fact tank. Pew is liberal, by the way. The Latino population was about 60 million in 2018, up from 47.8 million in 2008. So across 10 years, they increased by over 12 million. And that's the ones that we know about, right? Because we don't know how many illegals are coming in. Hispanics make up 18% of the population, the U.S. population. Blacks, 14%. So Hispanics have surpassed blacks a long time ago, but they weren't all eligible to vote. Now more and more are eligible to vote, so they've surpassed the blacks in the voting bloc. In 2016, Trump won about 1/3 of the Hispanic vote. That was more than Mitt Romney, by the way, because Trump is real. Mitt Romney's fake, even though Mitt Romney, I think, was born in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. He had something to do with Mexico. Yeah, Mitt Romney was a phony. And Trump is real. That's why he got them. But so supposedly recent polls, recent surveys show that Hispanic support for Trump is dropping to about 1/5 instead of 1/3 as the 2020 election nears. But I don't believe that. I don't believe the survey or the polls, because they're not what matters. The vote is what matters. And yes, you can say that there's a whole lot of voter fraud and stuff like that. And that's true. But anyways, yeah, Mitt Romney was born to American parents in Mexico. He should have stayed down there, making a mess, backstabbing Trump, but Trump got him back. Keeps on getting him back. But to the Hispanics, support Trump, support white people, because they're your best friends. They support actual real justice, at least the conservative ones do, especially the real ones, like Trump. And support Christianity. Don't be supporting Democrats. Don't be having so many abortions, because they do have a lot of abortions. And don't be having so many kids out of wedlock. The Hispanics have the out-of-wedlock birth rate right around 50%, plus or minus. Like the ones who are native to here, they were native born here, they're spoiled, so they have more out-of-wedlock births. But the ones who are immigrants here, they have 49% out-of-wedlock birth rate. That's like crazy. We should not be letting those people in. And then blacks have 70 to 77% out-of-wedlock birth rate. But because Mexicans are having so many babies, or Hispanics, they are having more out-of-wedlock babies than blacks. It's crazy. So do the right thing, Mexicans, Hispanics. Don't be dumb. Don't be anti-white. Don't fall for the dumb stuff. All right, I'm going to tell you about the Italians in a sec, but let me get to some more calls. Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. How are you, Rick?
What's up, James? Everything's going, man. What about you, brother?
Everything's fine for me over here, too. Thank you.
Man, you know, it's like when Jesse played that interview, what's that, the guy that was saying he was married to his husband.
Oh, yeah, Rob
Wow.
Smith. Yeah, the Turning Point guy.
Yeah, you know, and
That was shameful.
my thing is the Republican Party, they like saying, hey, if it works for the Democrats, it's gonna work for us too. So we gonna go ahead and partake too.
Yeah. It just shows you the corruption, the way that corruption spreads.
Yeah, because it's like it just seems like to me, man. People, if whatever gets votes, that's what they do, even if it's wrong.
Yeah. You know, people, it just shows you like this Overton window thing. Mm-hmm. Stuff becomes more acceptable, even though it's so corrupt. It would have been unthinkable years ago, but now it seems just acceptable, and people are just brainwashed to think, oh, what's the problem? I think that's the trap with intellectualism, because intellectuals will rationalize anything.
Yeah.
If they're predisposed to it.
Like, man, no one has morality no more, man. Everybody, no one wants to do what's right. Everybody wants to do what keeps them money in their pockets and keep them in a political position. That's about all I think what folks are doing.
Yep.
You know, and it's sad, you know, but unfortunately it's true, you know, and it's like, and even with the black community, like with the shooting, you know, with this shooting, was it in Fort Worth?
Yeah.
I'm still not. I don't have a judgment on that yet, because I believe it was a little more to that. I think maybe even if that woman would have got a gun and pointed toward the police, he shot her, he can get out of that if he got that on video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a mess though because there's an anti-police bias, an anti-white bias in the justice system. It's corrupted the justice system because these liberal judges are making these decisions, and even the jury people are not clear-thinking people, and so
no, because everybody
corrupt.
think off emotions, man. Doing things on what's right. Because like I said, even Amber Geiger, I would have charged her with murder. I would have said involuntary manslaughter.
Maybe even voluntary manslaughter, since she did do it on purpose. But the premise was mistaken. The premise was, I'm in my home and this guy's here. He shouldn't be here. But she did purposely pull the trigger, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're a cop and you have a threat. But unfortunately, apparently, he wasn't a threat.
And I done that too. I went up to the wrong apartment, and by the grace of God, my key didn't work. That's the only reason why I ain't go in.
Oh, nice. Yep.
You know what I mean? I even went to you go to a hotel room. You think of the hotel room and
Stay close to your phone, Rick. Stay close to your phone.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Yeah. And you know how you put your key in your hotel, and it wasn't open.
Yeah.
And oh man, no wonder I'm in the wrong room. You know, I have done that several times, but I use like if I have a hotel room, I always put my deadbolt on because that can happen. Somebody can get some kind of way. The customer service at the desk give somebody else your key as well.
Yep.
That can happen. So I always put my deadbolt on when I'm at a hotel.
Makes sense, man. Yep.
I know.
This was a when you're in your home though, because this was an apartment place. When you're in your home, you get comfortable, you get loose and relaxed, and people make mistakes. People don't have the security mind, and unfortunately, you have to be security minded nowadays.
Only thing I would have did is with that guy. He must have started one. As soon as I was saying to walk in, I would have put my own hands up in my own house.
Yeah, maybe so.
Because she got the gun. So I said, hey, this is my place. I would have tried to talk to her.
Right.
I don't know. He was trying to be aggressive or something with her. Or made a point.
No, I don't know, man. I don't want to speculate. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened. But you have to presume innocence. But people don't want to presume innocence.
I would have said, like you said, voluntary manslaughter. She shouldn't have got murder because murder means you intentionally tried to kill him.
Yeah, it means that you had.
I truly believe it.
Traditionally, it means malice. You had malice, but yeah. Anyways, I appreciate it, Rick.
Yeah, no problem, James. Man, love you, brother. God bless you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Yep.
All right. Let me quickly. I have some cool calls, man. I don't know who to go to next. Robbie out of Utah, first-time caller. Robbie, thanks for holding, man.
Beta.
Hey. What's up, Robbie?
Beta.
Are you on speakerphone? You're on speakerphone, Robbie?
No.
You sound like you're on speakerphone.
Oh, wait, let me fix that.
Much better. That's getting better.
Beta.
All right, yes, Beta. What's your question or comment?
No, just cool show.
Cool show? Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right on, man. You had a question? Oh. He had Nick, you had a question that was so interesting, but he didn't get to his question. He just said, Beta, cool show, man. I think. It's hard to understand. Maybe he was smoking pot. And by the way, I heard that the government is paying, or somebody, NASA. This is not good. This is not good news for NASA or millennials or Zoomers. But I heard that NASA, this is a Drudge headline, NASA was paying Elon Musk millions to keep his employees off of pot. Yeah, NASA paid Musk millions of dollars to make sure his employees don't smoke pot. That's according to Politico, paid SpaceX for safety review after Musk smoked pot. Yeah, because Elon Musk set a poor example. He went on this popular podcast, and it was streamed live, and on this show, the host likes to get his guests either drunk or high or whatever, if they're so inclined. And Musk, being kind of a weak guy, he did it. And I just saw the picture. I saw the picture on Drudge when it happened. It was like filled with smoke, and he looked all interesting. Not that interesting. Yeah, it's a D Live sticker. Shout out to D Live guys. And he just set a bad example, in all honesty. But so after that, NASA started paying. Wow, he got rewarded with money from NASA. That shows you how backwards the government is. When you do something wrong, you get rewarded with it to make sure that you don't keep doing that. This is according to Politico, anyways. So take that for what it's worth. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's infamous pot smoking incident last year prompted NASA to order a mandatory review of the federal contractor's workplace culture, but taxpayers, not the company, were bearing the cost, or are bearing the cost, according to contract records reviewed by Politico. The space agency agreed to pay SpaceX $5 million in May to cover the cost of the review. Shameful. Which includes educating its employees and ensuring that they are following strict guidelines for federal contractors barring illegal drug use. Because federally, pot is still illegal. Don't ask me, or you can't ask me, but I don't know whether the federal government should be involved in pot and all that stuff. But whatever. I think I lean towards it's a 10th Amendment issue. But anyways, let me get to T out of Oregon. Oh, I thought this was T out of Alabama. T out of Oregon, first-time caller. How are you doing?
Hey, good. Doing well, James. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, this isn't T from Alabama. This is a black T.
I was laughing at your question, picturing T from Alabama asking me this. It would be funny if T from Alabama came up with this question. Anyways, what's your question?
So I heard you say that
you're black.
AOC is. What's that?
You're black too?
No, I'm not black.
All right. And you spell it T? And you. Okay. Anyways, go ahead. You heard me.
Well, I was going to ask you about that comment about AOC, but then I realized that's a stupid question. So.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking at this question. This caller T from Oregon says, "You think AOC is cute?" Question mark.
Yeah.
But you think it's a stupid question?
At first I was thinking maybe he misspoke. Maybe he's thinking about someone else. But so she's a strong believer in communism.
Yeah.
And she apparently has a huge following with young people, which is kind of frightening because I came from a communist country.
Which one?
Well, I was born in a communist country in Romania.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw on YouTube, it shows the whole thing that how they caught the leader, Ceausescu.
No, I haven't seen that.
You have to look it up. They executed him immediately after they had like a 15-minute trial.
What decade was that?
It was in 1989.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and his wife was, I guess, apparently, a lot of people talked about it back then that she was kind of like in charge of him, like she was the one pulling strings.
Wow.
And
sounds like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. During the trial, after they came to the agreement to execute him, she said, "If you're going to kill him, you're going to have to kill me too." And they're like, "Okay,
wow,
you can come back too." And they executed both of them.
And these were communist leaders?
I learned what's that?
These were communist leaders that they executed, or who executed?
Yeah,
who?
It was the communist leader, like the prime minister of Romania.
He was executed.
Yeah, he was executed. They had like a small trial. It's on YouTube.
Who was he replaced with?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
I left there when I was 3.
Okay.
And we came to America.
What year, roughly?
1989.
Oh, you left in 1989. So the year that was happened, you left.
Yeah, so pretty much it was my birthday, and then we came here around my birthday in November, and then this happened, I think, in, I can't remember exactly, but pretty much like a week later, it was my birthday.
Dang. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, that's it. So you think AOC is bringing that stuff here?
She is. And
Yeah, she is.
The scary thing is they're using the name socialism, and
Right.
they are literally tricking all the young people to think that it's just about, sharing and about, how they teach like little kids, like a 4-year-old kid, like about sharing and caring and all that stuff. So a lot of young people are following her, thinking that, using the word socialism, but really, even Bernie, he uses the word democratic socialism.
Right.
But the word they should be using is communism, because that's what they want. They want power. They want control. They want everything to do. They want to, obviously, you and Jesse talk about all the time. They want to make the government bigger, take away the rights from the people, but pretty much like just pulling the wool over our eyes and doing it right in front of us. So they're not even trying to hide it.
Cortez is not a leader, nor is Bernie. They are just symptoms of the problem that's been infecting America. They're part of the brainwashed, useful idiots. And now they're just creating more useful idiots. I mean, you can call, in a sense, they are leaders, right? Because they're leading people astray. But they're part of a wave. They're part of a wave of evil that's been long time coming, 100 years coming or more in America. And it's worse than just saying leftists. They're evil people.
Yeah,
and
it is evil.
They pretend to be good.
Evil because what they're doing, obviously, is they're abolishing the family. They're abolishing Christianity. They're I mean, you don't see them going after Buddhist people.
Right. I took a screenshot of what the Justice Democrats are about. Let me put this in the folder if I can. But go on. I'll give that to Joel while you're talking.
The way they're attacking the family. I don't know if you saw that clip with Elizabeth Warren when the guy asked, "Hey, if this guy in the audience asked, marriage,
you cut out, T. You cut out. Stay close to your phone.
Oh, sorry about I probably hit a rough area. But this guy in the audience asked her, if I believe in traditional marriage, one man, one woman, he's like, what do you think about that? And then she just made like this really like just snarky, just ridiculous comment. And that's what they're all about. So that's pretty much my thing, is just for the young people to not fall for it and to keep a lookout and, just to be vigilant. And whether you like Trump or not, he's the right guy for the job.
Totally. That's true. Man, I appreciate that, T. Yeah, we've gotten calls from other people from Romania, and they talk about...
Yeah, I heard like two or 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I knew that people, Romanian people, Ukrainian, Russians, that actually went and lived through communism. Yeah. I guarantee you guys have a lot of people listening to you guys.
It's crazy because they've been kind of... I heard the word, somebody said anesthetized. I was watching maybe Vox Day, and somebody said, like, these former communist countries have been anesthetized from the globalist socialism that's being pushed, this communism that's being pushed today. And this one is, like, even worse than the last one, seemingly, because it's diluting and spoiling people and killing them spiritually, whether they live or die. It is diluting people by the masses, and it's
I hear evil. You. They are, with the movies, with the music, with media, with all that. But you know what? If you have strong faith, if you're born again, you're not going to fall for that stuff.
Yeah.
You see right through it. Everything they throw at you, you see right through it, and you know what the right choice is. And at this time, God chose Trump to. The thing I like the most about Trump is the way he stands up to the media.
Right, me too, man. I like him standing up to anybody. It's nice.
And people always complain about his Twitter feed and, he shouldn't. No,
it's perfect.
What? These people are evil. These people have a sick agenda. And if he doesn't fight, then, we have no one else at that level. You know,
right.
We're just sheep, and he's pretty much like a rancher that has like a AK-47 on his back, and he's fighting for us. You know,
AK-47 is a communist gun.
Yeah, I know.
It's a great gun though. I heard.
Yeah, it is.
I appreciate it, T. Thank you, man.
Hey, yeah, thank you. Hey, you're
All right.
awesome, man.
You too. Take care, man.
All right, bye.
Let me tell you the ideology of so-called democratic socialism. Let's put it up on the screen, Joel. And so this is from Wikipedia. Eco-socialism, kind of like eco-fascism. The eco-fascists are the ones that have shot up mosques and El Paso Walmarts and things. Socialist feminism. That's what democratic socialism is about. Anti-capitalism is what democratic socialism is about. Anti-imperialism, which is a lie. Anti-racism, which is really anti-white because there's no such thing as racism, but racism is targeted towards white people who tend to be conservative and nationalist and Christian. And so they're just anti-Christian, anti-white, anti-nationalism, anti-conservative. So that's what they mean by anti-racism. And then anti-fascism, which is anti-nationalism. If you are for your country, they're against you. Especially if you're for the good parts of what your country is supposed to be about, which America is supposed to be about freedom, Christianity, but letting people be whatever, and good things. But they're not for anything good. That's democratic socialism. And that's what AOC is, Cortez. So she's ugly inside, filthy woman. And she's living, her partner is a white dude. I think he might even be redheaded. Cuck. Anyways, that's also Rashida Tlaib. And that's also Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders, I've heard clips, is a sick person. He supported Black Lives Matter. He stood by while Black Lives Matter took over his stage. So that alone tells you he's sick, but he is sick. And so he's not an honest person. They pretend that he's honest, and I don't want to hear anybody telling me that Bernie Sanders is honest. He's not. He's fake. Anyways, Maze out of Dayton, Ohio. Nice to hear from you, Maze.
Hello, James.
Hey.
I have 3 questions and a point.
Yeah.
My first point is for that dumb Rick that just called in.
Wow.
Now, what if that lady was what?
I said, wow. You just called Rick dumb?
What if that lady was the person that was being held hostage and trying to scream for help? And then
but he saw her with a gun. Why would a hostage have a gun?
Did you see them gun on the video?
I don't know. But the boy did. The 8-year-old boy did.
Brain power.
Why would her brain power, Maze? Why would the nephew say that she was pointing a gun?
That could be a lie that spread it too. That's not what was said in the beginning.
Because we don't get the truth in the beginning.
At that point. So she's in her own house, and then again, was he following procedures?
I don't know.
Or he just doing what he wanted to do?
I don't know.
Thank you. That's what you need to find out. And if he wasn't following procedures,
I don't need to find out anything. I'm thoroughly uncurious about this incident. Because it wouldn't happen to me. I don't play video games with an 8-year-old nephew
you don't know if it could
at
happen to you
2:30 in the morning. That's crazy.
2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning. Playing video games. That's a bad aunt.
What would have been wrong with him using his light after he was there at the house? If the person came out of the house running,
you're speculating. You're speculating, Mace.
Well, everybody's speculating.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you right for speculating.
Excuse me?
It doesn't make you right for speculating just because everybody's doing it.
Right, I'm looking at the law. But people are following procedures.
But your procedures is different from law.
Yeah, different cops do different procedures. We'll put it that way. When it comes to arresting people and taking people to jail.
Okay.
We've seen that with our own eyes, haven't we?
I know, but yes.
So now let's get back to my second question. Now, Jesse was saying the black Republican that said he was gay and had a husband. That he was shocked he didn't know that. Didn't he know that he got him in his party just like the Democrats got in their party? Why was he so shocked?
Because Republicans are not supposed to be for that stuff, especially not radical like that.
Look at Bruce Jenner. Isn't he a Republican?
I think so.
Oh, so well, he shouldn't have been shocked.
That's dumb. That's a dumb point. Bruce Jenner. Hold on, Mace. Hold on.
What?
Bruce Jenner represents Bruce Jenner. He doesn't represent. He doesn't represent. Hold on. Let me finish my point. This man, this black male who acted kind of effeminate, to be honest, but he came out on Tucker Carlson's show talking about his husband and he's gay. And by the way, he's gay. He's a gay gay conservative. He's a gay veteran. Blah, blah, blah. Gay. He's representing a big, major conservative group. He's not representing himself. He's not calling himself, I am Kate. He's not on a...
It's just like the other one.
It's totally different from Bruce Jenner calling himself whatever he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's about like y'all read about a woman having an abortion. You can't do nothing about it because she wants it. It's her body. So now you're trying to say the party's supposed
It's not her
to be on the
body.
cover. That's
It's not her body, and the baby is not her body either, Maze.
It had nothing to do with you.
You're evil
And
for
so
thinking that way.
And then my
You
third
are
point
deluded and blind,
Get to my
woman.
third point.
Where's your brain power on the abortion issue?
No.
You have no brain power, Maze.
You speaking about high.
No, you have no brain power on the abortion issue.
Well, excuse me. I have brain power because I'm a woman.
No.
I can have a baby, and you can't.
No. Did you have a baby?
Between the two of us.
Did you have a baby?
You cannot have children.
Huh?
You can't have a baby.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's dumb. Men, that's all the more reason men should be making the decisions.
Your choice.
That's all the more reason. That's all the more reason men should be making the decisions because women are too emotional. They're too emotionally attached to my body.
You can have a vasectomy,
They don't make sane decisions about that.
Your question. You can have a vasectomy, right?
No, but I won't.
I'm saying you can, right?
No, I can't. I can't even make myself want to do that.
No, I'm not saying making yourself. Why don't you? Because you don't want to, right?
Right.
And is anybody complaining about you not having one?
Right. You're not making a good point, Maze. This is very poor brain power, Maze. That's very poor brain power. That's dumb.
Why is it dumb? Now explain to me.
Because I don't even have to explain why it's dumb. It's self-evidently dumb to anybody who can see.
It's still a way to keep you from having children.
I gotta go, Maze. I gotta go.
A woman's body, but not a man.
You don't believe in God's law.
You know what code words are, James?
God's law, Maze. Thou shalt not kill.
You know what code words are?
What part of thou shalt not kill don't you understand?
All of it.
Thank you.
But you don't abide by it. Well, when is this
all of it she doesn't understand.
Code
Okay,
word
thank
that
you.
your president used when he was saying that Biden was kissing Obama's blank blank.
Yeah.
Y'all should not forgive him for what he did with Obama. That's what he was telling in code.
It wasn't blank blank. It's just blank.
Laws and no brain.
All right, Maze. I gotta go. I missed your last point.
That's what it was.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.
You too. Malik, I think Malik said it. I'm tired of James flirting with Maze every day. Anyways, Chris out of Philadelphia, first-time caller. Chris, thanks for calling.
Hey, James, how you doing?
Doing fine. Nice to hear from you.
All right. He white. I'm white.
Yep.
Hey, quick question. Well, just a comment. I was calling about the Elon Musk thing.
Yeah.
I really believe that he smokes the way he does because he knows he can't get to outer space, and it's all just a scam, and I think they're just paying him off.
So he's easing the guilt of his lies?
That absolutely.
You know,
he knows because we're all Christian, well, most of us.
Yeah.
But we know he can't get through the firmament. It's in the Bible, you know.
So are you a flat earther? You believe the Earth is flat? Nice.
I'm a flat. Well, I know we're not on a spinning ball. I know that much.
How do you know that though?
By experiments that people have done. You could go to the ocean and watch boats disappear over the horizon, and then take your telescope or your P900 camera and zoom it right back in. And it's just.
You still see the boat? You still see the boat after that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can bring the boat right back up into view. Yep.
Wow. Amazing.
It's been done.
But that just means that the world is. That means the curvature is really long. It's like a big world.
Well, it is a big world, but if you get past, I don't know. We've been to the moon 6 times, right?
I don't know.
They say we've been to the moon 6 times.
Yeah.
And we haven't been back since 1972.
Yeah.
And all the technology.
I heard that it costs like a third of our GDP or something. A whole lot of money.
NASA gets $54 million a day. That's $54 million a day.
And most of that they blew on telling Elon Musk not to smoke pot.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
One day of it. That's crazy. They get that much a day? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like 20 billion a year or something like that.
But man,
enough to build 4 walls,
But man, I'm not into that stuff. I'm more into like practical things.
I understand, but it is a biblical thing. There's over 200.
I don't know.
Scripture. There's 200 scriptures plus that support a geocentric model of Earth, not a spinning ball.
Hey, man, you
should get Owen Benjamin back on? I know he was on a couple.
He's a cool guy.
To get him back on. He was on a couple months ago.
He made a point that I really liked. Oh, speaking of him, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, thank
all right,
you.
Take care.
No problem.
Owen Benjamin is a guy who's been on Jesse's radio show, and then he spoke at the men's conference. He's from somewhere back east, maybe. But, or maybe even not that. Maybe he's from Washington State or something. You guys know better than me. But anyways, he made a point, and then I'm going to get to the last calls. But he made a point about the N-word, about freedom, real freedom. Because he has this song called That N-Word Stole My Bike, but he doesn't say N-word. In fact, he would be insulted by me using the word N-word. There's a guy who was a regular watcher on this show that says that the N-word, the use of the term N-word offends me. And I understand that, but now we have to kiss up to the FCC. Well, FCC doesn't really regulate YouTube. But, family friendly. It's not the prettiest word, I guess. And there's some people that really just don't like it. So out of respect for them, we won't use it, right? So, but he's for freedom. And then there's these people who are anti-freedom, anti-white, who are mad at Governor Cuomo because he said that the New York Times used the term N-word WAP. And an N-word WAP is a term for Italians, basically. Or Sicilians, specifically. I guess that's a Southern Italy? I don't know. But anyways, he used that term on the radio show. And then he's like, excuse my language, but it was whatever. Sicilians being the darker Italians. So he used it, and then this dumb guy, bad guy, Jumaine, whatever, he's a public defender, supposedly. Well, he's not publicly defending this man, male. He's saying that, what did he say? He said something like, it's been this word still rings with hundreds of years of pain, and using it flippantly gives people permission to use the racist term. It's not a racist term. It's just a word. And it's considered a coarse word, right? Impolite word. But, in certain contexts, it's okay to say. In certain contexts, you should avoid it out of respect, or at least to follow the rules of society. But and then he's saying, "But hey, at least it wasn't blackface." And then there's another Democrat, a good guy, but he's a Democrat, right? Carl Heastie, who said he was just quoting the New York Times in context. So at least this guy is semi-reasonable. Anyways, let me get to Kimra out of South Carolina, first-time caller. Kimra, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing today?
Fine. You have 30 seconds to make your point on abortion.
Okay, my point is I was responding to the woman who called in earlier and was adamant that, abortions were okay. And what people don't realize is that a woman named Margaret Sanger back in the day, she was the lead of Planned Parenthood to create abortions.
She was actually for sterilization.
Yes, and she also wanted sterilization. She was targeting the black communities and the Jews in her attempt to wipe them out. And unfortunately, over time, they've been brainwashed into thinking that it's a woman's right to do this to their body. And they're actually falling into the evil that has been created by this woman and the rest of society, for that matter, to take over what God said. God said, thou shalt not murder, like you said.
Exactly,
we don't have
Kimra.
That right.
Thank you, Kimra. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, take care.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just evil, regardless of the history, but the history points it out too. But present day, it's pure evil. All right, guys, take care.